Roy Whiting is one of the most hated figures in the history of the UK justice system. Convicted of the abduction and brutal murder of 8-year-old Sarah Payne in 2001, his name has become linked with the gravest of crimes against children. The heinous nature of his actions, combined with the public's emotional investment in the case, has made Whiting a pariah even among his fellow prisoners, who have repeatedly attacked him while he serves his life sentence. Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Stay tuned as we explore Whiting's background, his crimes, the profound impact of Sarah Payne's murder, and the unrelenting violence he has faced behind bars. Born in Horsham, West Sussex, in January of 1959, Whiting's early life appeared relatively unremarkable, with few indications of the monstrous acts he would later commit. However, as he grew older, Whiting displayed worrying behavioural traits, including a volatile temper and difficulty maintaining stable relationships. His inability to integrate socially or adhere to societal norms culminated in a criminal record that foreshadowed his later atrocities. Whiting's first significant brush with the law occurred in 1995, when he was convicted of abducting and sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl. For this crime, he received a 4-year sentence, of which he served just over 2 years. Disturbingly, despite his evident danger to society, Whiting was released early from prison in 1997, placed on the sex offenders register, and allowed to return to the community. This decision would prove catastrophic. On July 1st of 2000, 8-year-old Sarah Payne was playing with her siblings in a cornfield near her grandparents' home in West Sussex when she vanished. A massive police search ensued, capturing the nation's attention as a desperate hunt to find Sarah alive unfolded. Tragically, her lifeless body was discovered 16 days later, discarded in a field near Pulborough, West Sussex. Whiting became a person of interest early in the investigation, due to his criminal history and proximity to the scene. Police had stopped him for erratic driving on the night of Sarah's disappearance, but they initially lacked sufficient evidence to hold him. However, forensic breakthroughs linked Whiting's van to Sarah's abduction, and fibers from Sarah's clothing were found in his vehicle. Furthermore, a single strand of Sarah's hair was discovered in Whiting's van, providing conclusive evidence of his guilt. In December of 2001, Whiting was convicted of Sarah's abduction and murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. The judge recommended that he serve a minimum of 50 years, effectively ensuring he would die behind bars. This sentence reflected not only the gravity of the crime, but also the public's overwhelming demand for justice. The murder of Sarah Payne struck a deep emotional chord in the UK. The case became emblematic of the worst kind of violence against children, and Whiting's remorseless demeanour during his trial only amplified the public's hatred. What made Whiting particularly despised was the innocence of his victim and the calculated nature of his crime. Whiting's prior conviction for a similar crime and his release from prison only heightened the public's outrage. Many viewed his freedom as a catastrophic failure of the justice system, and his case fueled widespread calls for tougher sentencing and stricter monitoring of sex offenders. The introduction of Sarah's Law, a campaign led by Sarah Payne's mother, Sarah Payne, was one of the lasting impacts of the case. Modelled after Megan's Law in the United States, Sarah's Law allows parents to check whether individuals with access to their children have a history of sexual offences. While the law aimed to protect children, it also reinforced Whiting's infamy as the catalyst for its creation. Whiting's notoriety has made him a target in the UK prison system, where even the most hardened criminals have little tolerance for child killers. His life behind bars has been marked by repeated attacks, as fellow inmates seek to exact their own form of justice. One of the earliest assaults occurred in 2002, when Whiting was stabbed by another inmate while imprisoned at Wakefield Prison. The attacker, a convicted double murderer, used a makeshift weapon to slash Whiting across the cheek. The assault left Whiting with a permanent scar and underscored the extreme danger he faced in custody. In 2011, Whiting was attacked again, this time at Long Lartin Prison in Worcestershire. During this incident, he was stabbed multiple times, including in the eye, by another inmate who used a sharpened toilet brush. The attacker, serving a life sentence for murder, reportedly told prison staff that he wanted to make a name for himself by targeting one of the UK's most hated prisoners. Further violence followed in 2018 at HMP Wakefield, where Whiting was scalded with a kettle of boiling water by a fellow inmate. The attack left him with severe burns and underscored the relentless hostility he faces in prison. The perpetrator, serving time for manslaughter, later claimed he was motivated by Whiting's crimes against Sarah Payne. In 2021, Whiting was reportedly subjected to yet another assault, highlighting the persistent danger he faces in custody. These attacks reflect not only Whiting's personal infamy, but also the broader culture of retribution that exists within the prison system. Whiting's unrelenting vilification highlights the moral hierarchy that exists even among criminals. While all offenders in high-security prisons have committed serious crimes, those who harm children are regarded as the lowest of the low. This contempt is amplified in Whiting's case by the widespread media coverage and public outrage surrounding Sarah Payne's murder. Outside prison walls, Whiting's name continues to evoke disgust and anger. He has no known supporters, and his case has become a rallying cry for those advocating for harsher penalties for sex offenders. The enduring pain of Sarah Payne's family, combined with Whiting's complete lack of remorse, ensures that his reputation remains irredeemable. While Whiting's life is defined by infamy, the legacy of Sarah Payne extends beyond her tragic death. Her murder catalyzed significant changes in UK policy and public awareness regarding child safety. Sarah's law, in particular, stands as a testament to her family's resilience and determination to protect other children from harm. The Payne family's advocacy also underscored the importance of supporting victims' families and amplifying their voices in the fight for justice. Sarah Payne's work as a child protection campaigner has kept Sarah's memory alive and turned unimaginable grief into meaningful action. In February of 2024, Roy Whiting was once again targeted in a prison attack. He was taken to hospital from HMP Wakefield with stab wounds after being found covered in blood. A statement after the attack said the prisoner is back in prison in a stable condition and the incident is being investigated by police. Roy Whiting's crimes and subsequent treatment in prison illustrate the enduring consequences of heinous acts. His name has become a byword for evil, and his life sentence is marked not only by confinement, but also by the constant threat of violence. The public's visceral hatred for Whiting is a reflection of the profound emotional impact of Sarah Payne's murder and the collective demand for accountability and justice. While Whiting languishes in prison, the legacy of Sarah Payne lives on, reminding society of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and the unwavering pursuit of justice for victims of crime. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.